Today I'm sharing with you 3 ways to eat for a leaner midsection. Women often reach out to me saying they're trying to lose weight and they're eating healthy, but they're not losing weight. They're eating clean, unprocessed foods, and nothing's changing in their body. They're working out regularly, exercising, being active, and nothing's happening. The scale isn't moving, they're not losing weight, and they're really frustrated. So if this is you, you're in the right place today. And hopefully as we talk, you can see why what you're doing isn't working for weight loss and what you need to be doing instead. If I'm a new face to you and you're new to me, my name is Megan Olson, nutrition practitioner, and I help women over 35 lose 20 to 50 or more pounds for good. So before we get started, I want you to know that I'm hosting a free class on how hormones impact weight loss and the 5 steps to lasting weight loss. If you click the link above this video, that will get you to reserve your spot or to get the replay for that class. So now let's talk about 3 ways to eat for a leaner midsection. So the first step to really eating for a leaner midsection, or just to reduce body fat overall, ladies, is to stop doing one-size-fits-all diets. And you may not want to hear me say this, but I'm going to tell you because you need to hear this, okay? One-size-fits-all diets are doing more damage than good to you. So what I mean by one-size-fits-all diets: keto, low carb, 21-day fix, 1200 calories, Whole30, South Beach, Weight Watchers. It's these programs where everyone is put basically on the same thing. They're told to cut out the same foods, they're eating the same calories, they're doing the same type of workouts. These are the type of programs I'm talking about when I say one size fits all, okay? The problem with one size fits all programs is they only work temporarily. So you lose the weight, but you gain it back. And it's because you don't really learn how to keep the weight off forever. And these programs are working against your hormones and metabolism, especially for women over 35. And the fact is, you learn nothing doing these programs. You waste a lot of time and money, and they teach you nothing about how your hunger and your fat storing hormones work, how your metabolism works, or really how to lose weight without damaging your hormones and your body and your relationship with food. And they almost never talk to you in these programs about your mindset and your attitude and how you're thinking about food and how that influences your habits and choices. All you really achieve by doing these programs, all you really get good at, is cutting out foods, following diet rules, and really having an unhealthy relationship with food. So there are so many reasons why these mainstream one-size-fits-all diets do not work. And one of the pillars in my weight loss program for women over 35 is built on education and on designing what really works for you. And I've been doing it this way since 2016. There is not one right way to eat for everyone. And I know you don't want to hear that either, but there isn't. There are millions and millions of different ways to eat that work better for certain people and their bodies and metabolism and their lifestyle. And ultimately, it comes down to designing what works for you and investing the time and energy into really figuring that out. And it's not something you can really outsource. It's not something that you can say to somebody, hey, just write me a meal plan and I'm going to follow it. That's not going to get you there faster, and it's not going to get you the right skills and education to learn really about how to make this work so that you're doing it forever. You really have to spend that time up front to figure it out, and you're capable of figuring it out. Believe me, if you're sitting there saying, no, I'm not, I've failed so many times, I've tried so many things, listen, I know, and I've been there myself. But you are capable of figuring it out 100%. And sometimes having a really powerful guide is always going to make that process of figuring it out so much easier than if you were just simply trying to do it on your own. Once you spend that time up front, though, and do that work and kind of get it over with, you're capable for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years then of listening to the internal signals of your body so that you can say to yourself, oh, I had a crappy night of sleep last night, and that's why I'm eating so many carbs and sugar today. I need to get myself on a bedtime routine. See, a lot of us, what we would say to ourselves is, well, I must not have any willpower, this diet sucks, I'm not doing the right thing, so that must be the problem. I have no willpower. It's my lack of motivation. No, it's because you had a crappy night of sleep, and you didn't really sit back and self-reflect. So the first thing, if you really want to reduce body fat and you want to get a leaner midsection, is you have to stop doing these one-size-fits-all diets. There's no shortcut here. I'm sorry. I wish that there was an easier way. I mean, it took me over a year to lose 80 pounds in 2009. So I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't work. And I've been doing this since 2016 with other women, so I know what does work. And getting these diets, getting them out of your life is absolutely critical. So that's step one. Step two is addressing your hormones and your calories. Calorie mindset and the goal to eat as little food or little calories as possible is a key mistake I see a lot of women making. In fact, what I've seen more now in my practice is women coming to me and saying, my doctor put me on a 1,200 calorie diet. And I'm blown away by that because that's like what a toddler eats. As a matter of fact, last week I had a woman I talked to who said her doctor put her on an 800 calorie diet. And I was like, wow, that's like, you're going to die. So this is a key mistake women make, and whether or not your doctor told you, I don't know, but they shouldn't be telling you that. But it is a mistake women are making when they're losing weight. They're eating way too little food. And it's those tactics that increase your hormones, increase your hunger hormones and your hunger cravings directly. There's a direct link there, proven by science. And that is the opposite that you want if you're trying to lose weight, right? You don't want hunger hormones to go up and cravings to go up because you're going to be eating all the food all the time. And then you're going to think you're crazy, but you're not crazy. It's your hunger hormones doing that to you. So if you really want lasting results, then what you have to do is you have to eat in a way that controls those hunger hormones and your cravings. Otherwise, you're not going to last on the program, right? You simply cannot eat in a way that only accounts for calories or Weight Watchers points. And I see a lot of women in my practice as well who've been doing Weight Watchers, and they're struggling with cravings. They're struggling with, hormone imbalances because they're eating a lot of 0-point food, which basically doesn't count towards their points. But at the end of the day, it's still calories. And at the end of the day, those types of foods, depending on how you're balancing them and pairing them together, it's going to cause problems with your metabolic hormones and cause you to be hungry. Okay, so eating too few calories, working out excessively. I see these kind of women all the time in my practice, and they're really frustrated because they're not losing weight. And what they are actually experiencing is the opposite of weight loss. They're actually gaining weight, and it's particularly happening in that midsection, in the belly. And that's because the calories are not the only issue you have to think about here. You have to think about the hormones. And I talked about this in yesterday's video where I talked about two hormones, cortisol and insulin. If you haven't watched that video, comment below. I'll drop the link for you so you can go back and watch that video. But one of the hormones I spoke to extensively was cortisol. That's your stress hormone. And cortisol is a big player here. Ladies, our bodies are really built for reproduction. That means our bodies are extremely sensitive to stress because it's the protective nature of the female body. And this is why so many women who are just really living stressful lives or don't have a lot of body fat, they tend to lose their menstrual cycles. It's the body's way of protecting itself. So it makes a lot of sense that when you go on a diet and you eat really little food and you exercise all the time, plus you're probably living, a high stress life and you're doing a lot of things, that your body would hoard any food that you're eating and make you start gaining weight. And because cortisol is going up and it's so high, it's going to be primarily in that midsection. And here's the thing that you have to understand. Dieting is stress on the body. Going a little bit below those calories is still stress on the body. Exercising is stress on the body. So there is a point of diminishing return of those two things. Those two things are good for you if you're trying to lose weight, but there is a point where they're going to backfire on you, which is why you have to be really smart about how you go about losing weight, ladies. If your caloric output is so much higher, what you're exceeding every single day, you're expending 1,000 calories exercising every day, but you're only eating 500 calories, what's going to happen is probably during the week, you're going to be really good at only eating that little food, and then the weekend's going to come, and then you're just going to be jumping in the refrigerator and the pantry and eating all the food. You're going to be diving into a bag of chips and eating a carton of ice cream and eating all the candy. And it's because your energy has gone down, your motivation has gone down to work out, and you're just going to lay around all the time. And this is not an accident. This is not an issue of your willpower or you just don't have motivation. It's that your body and your hunger hormones are literally telling you something. They're putting on those brakes and saying, you're not eating enough food, you're starving me. And because you're starving and not paying attention to the hormone side of the equation, you have no control, or you feel like you have no control, but it's your body's physiology taking over. And this is what you must understand about weight loss, ladies. It's not just about calories, it's not just about hormones, and it's not just about eating healthy. It's about all three. And until you really accept that, you may find yourself on a hamster wheel of eating less, working out more, jumping from diet to diet, and feeling like you just don't have motivation or willpower, when really it's because you just don't have the right information and know really how to work with your body, not against your body. So if anything is going to work, it has to be in a lower stress environment. That's one key takeaway you must take away from this. And this is what I said earlier, that all these diets, these one-size-fits-all diets that are out there, they really work against your hormones, your metabolism, and your body. And you want to work with your body when you're losing weight. And doing those one-size-fits-all diets means you're going to work against your body. You're going to eat these tiny, tiny, tiny little pathetic diet meals, and you're eating maybe roughly the number of calories that a toddler eats, eating 1,200 calories, okay? That puts stress on the body, and it's exactly why you're not getting the results that you want. And it's not that you don't have willpower. It's not that you don't have motivation. It means that you just don't have the right information. And gosh, I wish that they educated every woman about this in school. I think it's so important, and I see so many people really kind of struggling with this, and that's why I'm putting it out there. Okay, so hormones and calories, they matter, but the hormones matter more than the calories. That's your takeaway here. Okay, so step 3, the last thing you need to do for a leaner midsection is change your approach to how you eat. Okay, if there's anything that we all know about weight loss, it's that nutrition is king. Okay, remember I said earlier that you can't just eat healthy though and sort of pray that you're going to lose weight. That doesn't work that way. You also can't cut out all your favorite foods and sort of muscle strength your way through your weight loss and expect to keep the weight off, right? Because you'll cut out the foods temporarily and then you'll just go back to eating them. So you need to change your approach to eating in a very sustainable, slow way. And many women who reach out to me tell me they have cravings, they have a sweet tooth, they love their wine, pizza, chips, candy, whatever, right? They love that stuff, right? And they're like, I don't want to have to give that up. Okay, so what you need to understand is that as soon as you decide you're going to do a diet, let's say you're going to do, I don't know, keto or low carb or something. What happens when you think that? Where does your focus and your mindset go? I know where it goes. It goes immediately to all the foods that you know that you're going to have to cut out. And all the things that you're not going to be able to eat for a while. And you're like, oh, I can't eat this, I can't eat this. And you're running through this mental list and you're like thinking about it over and over again. And so you decide you're going to start this new diet. You're going to do it on Monday morning. And guess what? You're thinking, well, I don't want to do it today because I got to do it on Monday. So that Saturday and Sunday, I can just eat whatever I want. I'm just going to binge and treat my body like a trash can because it's like my last meal. Monday's coming. I got to cut these things out. Right? And that is a sign. If this is you and that's what's going through your head, then that is a sign that what you're doing or about to do is completely unsustainable and it's not going to get you lasting results. Okay? If you saw what my clients eat, you would see that they're eating a lot of food. Sometimes they complain that they're eating too much food and they're really full. Okay? But my clients, they're not eating little broccoli and chicken 7 days a week at every single meal. They're eating a ton of protein, a ton of produce, but they deliberately also plan some of their favorite meals routinely into what they're eating that they really enjoy, like pizza and chips and wine and stuff like that. They add those things in and they move on. They don't feel guilty about it. Because if 80% of your meals are balancing your metabolic hormones, and you're keeping your stress low, then eating those things here and there, it's not going to throw you off. It's not going to cause you to crave a bunch of food and go on a crazy binge. You see, if you learn how to put things you enjoy into your plan, it's much easier to stay consistent. Think about that for a minute. How much easier would it be for you to remain consistent with your way of eating to lose weight if you regularly plan to have a pizza night, if you regularly plan to have some chocolate or some wine incorporated in that. You were deliberately planning for that. You know, I had a client tell me this yesterday, and she said, I've read all of the books out there. I've been doing this for years. And she's like, I can't believe how effortless this feels. I'm not stressed about food like I was before. And she was just totally blown away. And I hear this from my clients all the time. All my clients will tell you that there's kind of like this magical thing that happens once they get their meals aligned with their hormones. And the magical thing is that they no longer crave these kind of foods. Every now and again, they'll eat them and they'll kind of be like, oh, that didn't really make me feel so great. I want to go back to this way of eating. So sure, they eat those foods every now and then, or sometimes they go on a binge, but they never feel guilty or bad. And they never really feel like they want to go back to that way of eating once they kind of eat in a way that aligns with the hormones and you're not on this crazy roller coaster, okay? And I hear this from clients all the time, and it can happen as quickly as 2 weeks. 2 weeks, it can happen that quickly, be turned around for people. You know, hunger is in check, cravings are in check, energy is really high and great, they're sleeping great, and they're able to finally say no to their kid's candy jar, their husband's pizza, and they really just don't want it. And guess what? They use zero willpower to say no. Zero. Because they just finally start to realize how good they feel this way. Okay? And that's where you want to be. You want to be feeling good, you want to be feeling full, and you want to be feeling balanced. You don't want to feel like you're coming at this from a place of restriction and what foods you should be cutting out and how strict you can be for the next 3 or 4 months. The best results really are going to show up after a long period of time. You know, taking a slow and gradual process, that's what's going to get you the lasting results. And if you're cutting out all the foods and you can barely get through, you know, week 1 or month 1 of what you're doing, and you're kind of feeling like you're going crazy, and then it's never going to work. And you have to be honest with yourself about that, okay? When I work with my clients, I focus really on what they're going to eat. I don't give them a list of foods and say, this is all the stuff you shouldn't eat. I never do that. Never do that. We focus on what we will eat, not on what we won't eat. And there's a huge difference. And this is how, ladies, you really transform yourself. You do it the smart way. You stop doing the one-size-fits-all diets. You start addressing the hormones because they matter more than the calories or the Weight Watchers points. And you create a sustainable new way of eating that's well-balanced, that aligns with those hormones. And you make that a lifestyle. The only way it works is if you build it for yourself. And it's not hard, and you are totally capable of doing that. So just know, if you are struggling, it doesn't have to be as hard as it is. Most of my clients are so surprised, like that client I said yesterday, are so surprised how effortless it is when they really kind of get the fundamentals in their head understood and aligned. They figure it out, and it's so much easier to stay consistent. So if you do need help, make sure you reach out. Again, I'm going to be doing that free class about how hormones impact weight loss. The link for that free class is right above this video. So click that link, reserve your spot, come join me. You can ask a bunch of questions live during that class as well, or you can just get the replay if you can't make that time. And if you have questions from watching this video, feel free to drop them in the comments. I love chatting with you guys. I will talk to you soon.